For 2,000 years, one question has sat buried beneath doctrine, dogma, and fear. A question so destabilizing, the early church worked endlessly to erase any trace of it. Was Jesus a witch? Not the broomstick caricature, not the Hollywood myth, but a practitioner of forbidden knowledge of spiritual technology and a mastery of natural law that threatened empires. In the ancient world, a witch was not a cartoon. They were healers, herbalists, mystics, people who manipulated the unseen, people who operated outside state-approved religion. Healing with intention, knowing things they shouldn't know, breaking the monopoly of priests. By this definition, Jesus matches the profile more than anyone Rome had ever executed. Look past the stained glass myth. The Gospels describe a man using techniques that in any other culture would be labeled sorcery. Speaking commands to the wind, healing with a touch, sending energy across distance, multiplying food, reading the unspoken thoughts of others. These aren't passive miracles. These are deliberate acts, ritual, intention, mastery of hidden laws. If anyone else had done these things in Judea, the word used wasn't Messiah. It was magos, mage, sorcerer, or witch. Between ages 12 and 30, the historical record falls silent. But absence is not emptiness, it's a signature. Most mystics in the ancient world disappeared into training. In Egypt's therapeutic temples, in the Essene communities of the Dead Sea, among Nazarite ascetics, inside mystery schools where healing, meditation, and ritual knowledge were preserved. Jesus reappears with a mastery no ordinary carpenter acquires by accident. He returns like a man who unlocked something and refused to keep it for the elite. Rome didn't execute Jesus for theology. They executed him for politics. A man who bypassed priests, healed freely, taught inner divinity, and drew crowds into the thousands, was a threat to the economic and religious infrastructure. Call him a witch, and his execution becomes justified. Call him the Son of God, and his story becomes controllable. This wasn't a theological pivot. It was a strategic one. Early Christianity split into two camps. One saw Jesus as a mystic teacher of self-knowledge and awakening. The other turned him into an imperial figure requiring obedience. Guess which version survived? The mystics were hunted, their texts burned, their knowledge labeled dangerous. Jesus, the healer, rebel, esoteric master, became Jesus, the crown-endorsed icon. The witch-like Jesus was buried under centuries of politics. So was Jesus a witch? If a witch is someone who heals with intention, who manipulates natural and spiritual forces, who teaches that divinity resides within, and who is persecuted by empire for empowering the people, then the answer isn't controversial. It's unavoidable. Yes, Jesus operated as what ancient cultures would classify as a witch. Not because he was evil, but because he practiced a form of spiritual sovereignty that threatened the power structures of his time. The danger isn't in the label. The danger is in the implication. If Jesus used techniques anyone can learn, if the divine spark is not exclusive, if consciousness, intention, healing, and energy were his true message, then the entire architecture of religious authority collapses. That is the real forbidden knowledge. That is why the question was buried. And that is why we must ask it now. This is not blasphemy. This is liberation, a return to the raw, destabilizing truth that empires tried to erase. Jesus didn't come to create followers. He came to awaken practitioners,